The news breaking just a few minutes ago, the NFLPA and NFL have settled on a Deshaun Watson suspension. It will be 11 games. It will be $5 million. And with the Browns bye, that means his first game back, ladies and gentlemen, will be here in Houston, Texas at NRG Stadium against the Texans. A lot of emotions, a lot of reaction, a lot of people thinking that he shouldn't have been able to settle his own suspension. But this is what was decided. And according to Adam Schefter, neither side is going to argue it. So that is what it will stay. Andrew Brandt had an interesting tweet. Here's the entire loss of income for Watson due to his behavior on the $230 million fully guaranteed contract. His total loss, $650,000. He will make $229.35 million from the Browns, fully guaranteed, as we know David Mulugheta set it up to be. What are you guys' thoughts?
He's getting off so easy. I mean, you just continue to think about it. This year, salary-wise, he is only scheduled to make a little north of $1 million. So what? He loses 2/3 of this, if I'm doing my math correctly? Wow. What a slap in the wrist for a contract that essentially circumvents financial penalty due to suspension. $5 million. That doesn't do much. I mean, I get it. Maybe you don't want to look like you're going after the money, but you should go after the money here. If you're the 31 other owners, aren't you pissed off about this?
Right.
Show some balls. If you're Roger Goodell, I know you don't have any based off of the way that you've generally acted, but again, show some balls here. You called him predatory and his behavior egregious.
He said that at the owners meeting too. So the thing that stood out to me about was not that
the owners probably
Roger Goodell said that. Roger Goodell gave that interview as he came out of the owners meeting, I believe in Minneapolis.
We said exactly what they
and
wanted
called
to say.
it predatory, egregious, which tells me he was just in a meeting essentially with his bosses, right? That tells me that the other owners felt that way as well. And I think it's been indicated that the Texans owners certainly were disgusted and disappointed as well. I want to talk a little bit, guys, about the process that led us here. Because per the new CBA, this neutral arbitrator, Sue L. Robinson, was put into place, and she was supposed to make the process more obviously neutral. Regardless of where you stand on all things Deshaun Watson, if you think he's guilty, if you think he was innocent, if you think it was somewhere in the middle, this process was strange. Let's start out with the fact that at the end of the day, Roger Goodell still had the final say. Now, yes, he appointed somebody, Peter C. Harvey, but at the end of the day, he still had the final say.
Yeah.
And we were told that he appointed somebody to make it expedite the process because he had so much going on. This process was so circular to me because it all came back to it being Roger Goodell's situation to deal with anyway. I just think it's strange. And it's something that they agreed on, right? It is in the new CBA. But did Sue L. Robinson's report have that much impact? Remember, she suggested 6 games, and now it's 11. She suggested no fine, and now he's got a $5 million fine. So perhaps she's just, her report is something that they use almost as like a starting point.
Yeah, and it's a weird starting point. It's I think a pretty weak starting point. It's the bunny slopes, right? It's green. Maybe it's blue. For those who have skied, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. A circular process that comes back to a slap on the wrist. And I mean, I get that there wasn't an ability to prove that a violent act occurred, but I don't know. Like, what is the messaging here from the league when Goodell said what he said? Sue Robinson said what she said about things like this. Is this going to stop Watson? Is this going to make Watson even feel remorse, guilt, try to make amends?
He does have to undergo counseling. So I guess that's, the NFL's way of trying to stretch out that
it's like probation, though, isn't it? I mean, it's not a real punishment. Oh, you got to go to therapy. We've all been. It's all about what you put into it. What about Watson's actions have shown you that he's actually going to take it seriously?
Well, he did apologize for the first time with Aditi Kinkhabwala last week, and we did say on the show, not to toot our own horn, but that was the indication that there was a punishment coming because he has not expressed remorse at all and then all of a sudden said he was very sorry to the women that he hurt. That, to me, indicated that the NFL had some conversations and said, look, we'll make a deal with you, but you got to at least act like you're sorry.
but he didn't do a very good job of
Not
acting.
saying he did a good job. I'm just saying he finally apologized after a year plus of this situation.
The apology's in writing, if you transcribe it, but you watched him. Hollow. We all know it. I mean, this is not a guy who is going to change. This is not a guy who is going to use this second opportunity after getting some of the best luck that he's ever gotten. He's not going to do good with this. He's not going to be Private Ryan at the end of Saving Private Ryan, earn this. He's not. What he is going to do is just get back into his own world, count all that money that he is making. He's not going to be like Michael Vick, who I felt like actually became a changed person after the things that
a lot of mea culpas
went through. That's what frustrates me the most. Maybe Watson will prove me wrong on that front, but his entire behavior for the last 2 years screams, I am not changing because of this, and I am going to laugh at you when you give me that second chance.
And we know, by the way, that there are things that are way more important than football, but this is a sports show, so we are going to focus partially on the football side of it. The Browns did release a statement, quote, as we have previously conveyed, Deshaun and his representatives have abided by the NFL and NFLPA structure, awaiting a final decision, and we have respected the process. Now that a decision on discipline has been reached, we understand this is a real opportunity to create meaningful change, and we are committed to investing in programs in Northeast Ohio that will educate our youth regarding awareness, understanding, and most importantly, prevention of sexual misconduct and the many underlying causes of such behavior. Since Deshaun entered our building, he has been an outstanding member of our organization and shown a true dedication to working on himself both on and off the field. We will continue to support him as he focuses on earning the trust of the community. That's from D and Jimmy Haslam. Guys, what stands out to me about this statement, Deshaun Watson always denied any wrongdoing. Denied. Here, they say that they're going to invest in programs that promote awareness, understanding, and prevention of sexual misconduct and the many underlying causes of such behavior. Am I reading too much into the fact that they're basically admitting that he had sexual misconduct? Are we just like blowing past the fact that he denied?
They did it in the last statement that they had after the initial 6-game suspension ruling.
It's insane.
Where they said like, hey, like Watson has remorse for his actions. And to that point, Watson had said, no, I don't have any remorse because I didn't do anything wrong. You're totally right, Vanessa. Brooks Cabina just put out a tweet and an article about the potential public impact a return of Watson to Houston could have. Here is what that article reads as from an expert who works for RAINN, the largest anti-sexual violence group in the nation. The public sporadically pays attention to sexual violence issues. The most attention they're paying is when it's such a high-profile case like this. It leads other survivors to think it's not worth all the trouble of reporting, that the end result is just a slap on the wrist, and there's a risk that discourages people from coming forward. I couldn't agree with that expert more.
Yeah, if you think about it, there's a very good chance that Ashley Solis faces more heat in her life, like to
no
scale,
question,
than Deshaun Watson.
And I hope that settlement is making her
Sizable.
whole again
Yeah.
in some way, too. Because, okay, money is one thing, but we know that doesn't solve everything. And I would imagine it's pretty hard to see this taking place where it's a slap on the wrist and you see Watson being disingenuous with his press conference. You're seeing that he's losing very little money. You're seeing, I mean, he's won in every single situation here, hasn't he?
He's always come out on top. He
Right.
wanted to leave the Texans. As Sean said, he left the Texans. He wanted a bigger contract. 4 months before that, he got the bigger contract.
He got paid to not play for them while this was all
He was a healthy
underway.
scratch as he wanted to be, and he ended up being a healthy scratch. We have Texas Tony on the line who'd like to talk about Deshaun Watson. Tony, what's up?
You guys got it all wrong. I mean, I'm not a Deshaun Watson or Texans fan. I am here in Texas, but he got bamboozled by some internet garden tools.
Wait,
These
I'm sorry.
women are independent contractors. They're independent contractors. He paid them to do a job. They did the job, and then one or two of them got greedy and wanted more.
You
One or
think
two
that-
That's
Jesus
why he
Christ,
denied
you're so
everything.
wrong.
You
You're so
think all
wrong.
these women are lying? Hey,
Hey,
Tony,
what they
I
do for a
sincerely hope that you don't have any daughters or any women in your life, because if they listen, they will never trust you with anything important. Did you hang up on him? Hang up on him.
He just
What a
called,
weirdo.
He just called every single one of the people making
Yeah.
allegations there.
Now, I said
hoes.
before there could be gray areas. There could be some women that are like we don't know, we weren't in the rooms, but to say all of them are lying about
20
everything is
24.
a psychopathic thing to think.
And
Yeah,
this,
I think it's easier for him, for Texas Tony, to put himself in Deshaun Watson's shoes than it is those women. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
that's a very polite way of simplifying it. 24 allegations of sexual misconduct. Watson went out and sought some of these people after they told him that he was being made uncomfortable. What? Would you feel comfortable? Say you will have a job of giving people a massage. It is your job. And a high-profile client comes in who's probably going to be able to pay you a lot of money, and all of a sudden, he decides to bring in a small towel, take his penis out, say, hey, can you touch this? Then actually grab his penis and put it on your hand. And then on top of that, like, continue. What are you supposed to do in that situation? Right. And the people that look at this and are like, oh, blah, 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 I'm sorry, you're just a total idiot. Sorry, Tony, idiot.
It's also just like a complete lack of awareness of the fact that you think that all these women would make up every single detail of the situation.
But we have it all wrong.
Yeah, but everybody has it all wrong.
Thanks, Tony, for your insight.
Yeah,
I'm
11
sure that
games.
It's very valued in your life on a daily basis.
Well, that's what I said. I hope he doesn't have daughter. I mean, all these guys that tweet these things, I'm like, I hope that you have no women in your life, because here's the thing. The women in your life have probably been through things, and they're never going to be comfortable telling you about it if they know that you think all these women are liars. So, Texas Tony, I hope you don't have girls. That's awkward if you do.